capture card for my gaming system here. Mute this real quick. This YouTube channel is tentatively going to be named Vintage Amusements Plaza. It's going to be kind of a throwback to. It's kind of like a cross between a Let's Play and reviews of retro video games. My brother and I like to sit in this basement here. It's not an intergalactic space arcade or anything like that. It's just a basement, and just play games together. So this is technically would be, I guess, episode 0 because I was just testing the setup. I had a different HDMI capture card, which I really wasn't happy with because it just did 480i. This one does 1080, so you get to see the gameplay in incredibly crisp 1080p. I'm just recording 30 frames a second. I'm sure I could do 60, but I don't think you're going to notice that much. Right now, I think it's just playing Burning Fight on Neo Geo. I actually have my setup is uses a Raspberry Pi 3, and I mounted it in a Sega Genesis housing. It has a 1 terabyte hard drive and about 33,000 games loaded on it right now. So it has virtually every arcade game and 8-bit and 16-bit system loaded on there right now. So we have a lot of content to go through. It's going to be pretty much random. Whatever we feel like playing, probably arcade games. We'll be playing 8-bit, 16-bit games. Nothing serious. I'm 44 and he's 42, so we have a lot of experience in the ye old video game consoles. First video game console was the Atari 2600 back in the day. This is just the interface for RetroPie. See all the different systems I have alone here. So, first system we ever had was we never really did the Pong systems until they were actually like rummage sales and flea markets and whatnot. We always would pick up a couple simple Pong games then, and they were, even back in the late 70s, they still looked like insanely primitive. So first system was the 2600. I got a lot of games on there for 2600. Let's find one of my favorites. Let's see if I find Reactor on here. Actually, I like this Reactor more than the arcade version. This is an arcade game too. So, started on the 2600, and then we had an Atari 8-bit computer, which is the Atari 8-bit line is a 6502 base system, and 6502 in turn is just, it's an 8-bit system. It was it was used in a lot of different systems back in the day. 2600 was our first system. Then we had the 7800 and the Atari 8-bit line. We had Atari 800XL. We actually played probably more games on the 800XL than any other system. And then we had 7800. We had some games. The 7800 wasn't a very good system. Never had a Nintendo. Never owned a Nintendo Entertainment System. Never owned an SNES. We had a Sega Master System, which we played a lot of games on there. I mean, classics like Zillion and, of course, the Wonder Boy series, which is a fantastic game series if you've never played it. Probably one of the best platformers out there, particularly Wonder Boy 3 is a fantastic game. It's been brought to modern consoles too, actually, so good on them. That's actually an awesome game to play. I'll fire up that in a little bit. But then I had an Atari Lynx. Actually, I have 2 Atari Lynxes. I have 2 Atari Lynx and about 60 odd games nearly every game they made except for about 8 or 9 games. Just because there's games I just didn't like. In case you've never seen an Atari Lynx, little color portable handheld about this big. I'll grab one later and show it. It's a good system. You can see this was when everyone else was playing in the Game Boy, which is I think 4 levels of grayscale. And the Lynx was full color, backlit, LCD, passive matrix, but still far, far beyond what the Game Boy had. This is a Zarlor Mercenary for the Lynx. It's a really fun vertical shooter if you like vertical shooters. It's a neat game because when you play, you can, as you earn money, the money allows you to purchase upgrades, which is actually kind of cool. And of course you're picking up upgrades too. So yeah, then we had Atari Lynx along with the Sega Master System. I left home in 1992, so I missed out on basically the entire 16-bit era because I was just trying to live at the time. So I really wasn't into gaming all that much, and I still have my Lynx, which is great because it's portable. I didn't have to worry about hooking it up to a TV or anything like that. So then I picked up in 95 or 6 or so, whenever the original PlayStation came out. It had original PlayStation and a PlayStation 2 and a PlayStation 3, and probably going to be buying a PlayStation 4. Never owned an Xbox. No desire to ever own an Xbox. I don't use I try to avoid Microsoft products in general. I just don't think they're a very good value proposition for what they are. I'm a Linux user. All the stuff's actually going to be recorded and edited on a Linux system. I actually just bought a new computer. It's the first time I haven't built a new computer in probably close to 10 years. I had a pre-built system, a Cybertron PC, very good PCs actually. But I was trying to price a system out for what I wanted. I wanted a Ryzen 7, something with 16 cores, 8 physical, 16 logical cores basically. Because I want to do faster video encoding and recording, and I was pricing out systems, and they have a lot of gaming systems, but the gaming systems really didn't. My biggest complaint with the gaming systems was they don't have optical drives. They don't have an external optical drive bay. It's like I need to have a Blu-ray player. I need to have a DVD burning capabilities, and I don't want to mess around with USB. I mean, give me throw me a bone, guys. Give me a 5-inch drive bay. So I ended up building my own system. So I got a Ryzen 7 1700, which is a 8-core machine, and then built that up. 16 gigs of RAM. Got an pulled my old hard drive over for the operating system, and then put a 8 terabyte hard drive on there for video storage, a spinner. So I'm set for a while on that, and that's actually what this is being recorded on right now, is on that new system. Quiet, fast. If you look at your machine, just great raw horsepower. It's a good machine. I mean, I'm not a big gamer for a PC gamer at all, so I mean, any PC games I did play were DOS based, to give you an idea how long it's been. I was actually just going through my collection of PC games, and they all ended in like 98 or 99. I stopped using Windows at home in 1999. I switched over to Mandrake Linux back then, and I haven't had Windows installed on any computer for my main computer since '99. So been 19 years. Been a long time since I've used Windows at home. So you can see in Zarler you can actually go through and buy weapon upgrades. And what should I buy? Speed ups you can pretty easily. Nope, I want to sell. So went through and built a new machine. It's nice having a fast computer. My old machine was just I think it was an A4 something. I'm a big AMD fan. I like AMD processors. They're good value for the money. I didn't really feel like dropping $1,400 on a Intel processor. Not for what I was doing. I don't care if I don't have an extra 20 frames a second when I'm playing Doom or something like that. I actually don't even play games on my computer. I just mostly play these retro ones. So, yeah, let's see what else. So, the show will basically be like this, just playing old games, giving our perspectives on it, and general commentary, what's going on in the retro gaming community. I actually forgot how fun this game was. Mark on Classic Game Room 2085, I think, did a review on this a couple months ago. I don't think he got very far, actually. You can tell he never really played the game much before. I don't think I saw anything past maybe the 3rd level on here. Interesting factoid on the Lynx. The Lynx was designed by the same group of guys who designed the Amiga, and they designed the Amiga and the Lynx and the 3DO were all designed by the same group of guys. Like Dave Needle, RJ Michael, and somebody else. I can't remember the 3rd guy. They designed the system. All 3 systems. Lynx is neat because it actually had a unlimited sprite generator. And you'll notice all the moving objects on the screen of this game. I mean, the background, the flying ships, the shots, and there's no flicker. The Lynx hardware allowed for unlimited sprites to be drawn. You occasionally get some slowdown. The Lynx used a 65 CO2. The C is for 16-bit instead of the 8-bit processor. So CO2 is a 16-bit version of 6502 that everyone else used. It was easier to program for and cheaper than the Motorola 68000. 68000 is of course used for Macs, and the Sega Genesis used a 68000. It's a good chip. Was a competitor to the Intel stuff for many years, the x86 stuff for years, and eventually became the PowerPC architecture. A little background on myself. I am an electronics engineer, graduated 20 years ago. I've been a test engineer almost my entire professional career. I've tested aerospace components, all sorts of electromechanical switches, and now I work for a company that makes something called fiber optic gyroscopes, which are extremely sensitive gyroscopes used for guidance and stabilization. So that's where I come from. So for myself, though, this is just be a hobby. I'm probably never going to be asking for Patreon dollars or anything like that. It's a hobby. So I hope I don't take any business away from anyone for their patrons. I doubt it. I probably won't get that many views anyway, because it's just some old guy with gray hair sitting in the basement playing video games. But we'll see. I'm not planning on making a career out of this. I'm not going to be merchandising it or anything like that. I just want to sit down here and have fun and just relax and spread some useful information if anyone wants to listen to me. So I'll just keep playing for now, and let's try to keep a running commentary. This is actually not an easy game. I haven't died yet, which is good. It's one of these crazy vertical shooters. Some people love shooters, some people hate shooters. I actually really kind of like vertical shooters. Horizontal shooters I don't like quite as much. I hate this level with these cargo carriers that come down and kill you. But yeah, I don't plan to make a life out of this. I got enough stuff otherwise. I know some people have done it, and I think one of the reasons I'm doing this is I used to really like the show Classic Game Room on YouTube, but Mark left. I actually do repair work for Mark's stuff, particularly his Atari Lynx. I fixed that system, but it's just, I think honestly he kind of missed, and I don't see the passion in his work anymore. It's very repetitive, a lot of the same wording a lot, and it just kind of makes for it's sad to see a show that's fallen so far. I mean, he does great editing work, and you could tell he knows what he's doing in terms of the videography, but in terms of pacing and content, I'm a little bit leery. I mean, I don't mean to be cruel to Mark. I mean, it's I could see it's not as passionate anymore. He's doing a lot of drawing and book work, which more power to him. I mean, if that's what he wants to go and do now, then he can do it. It's a free country. You can do whatever the heck you want. But I'm trying to make a show, or we're going to try to make a show which kind of brings back some of that original passion to playing old video games. See, like I said, these stupid cargo carriers get me every time. Because once they hit you, you're done. So I've been... Oh, come on. See? Told you. Rat bastards. Of course, if you ever want to see anything specific in terms of gameplay, let me know. I've got, like, darn near everything loaded on here. And I'll, of course, have videos of hardware I'm working on. Oh yeah, this level does the fake out. You think you're done, but you're not. See, there's another one. You gotta get here just right so you avoid the crazy laser beam. See, it's still not done. It's getting your heart. I never really noticed a drop shadow with a ship. That's kind of cool. I like how you could just barely see it underwater. You can tell with these old systems, they put a lot of work into the programming. Judy crickets. There we go. See that? Got it. Third time's a charm. Yep. So now we get to watch this video back later and see what kind of facial tics I have. I never really realized how many facial tics I have until I actually watched some of these videos back. think that might be it for now. I'm gonna keep playing. I'm gonna pause this and keep playing this in a minute. But that's enough of me.